Hey guys, what's up? It's the culture detective here, investigating your favorite albums. And today I'm going to do an album review on the latest Xiu Xiu Oh No! So Xiu Xiu is a musical outfit formed in California, and this is their latest album, Oh No. And they have been dropping a lot of albums, and in each album they try out something different. I have briefly talked about their 2016 release, where they decided to cover a lot of the soundtracks of Twin Peaks, which is surprisingly a fantastic cover album with a lot of its own personality and flavor. In the year 2017, they released Forget, which is a very accessible art pop album with very heavy and kind of dark lyrics about prostitution. And at the same time, musically, it is incredibly well made. I mean, the ending is dark, it's chilling, it opens off in a very fiery manner. There are also a lot of catchy highlights on the album. In the year 2019, they released Girl with Basket of Fruit, which is unexpectedly demented, weird, crazy, absurd, avant-garde, experimental album that is nothing like any of Xiu Xiu's previous albums. So they have finally released Oh No, and again, it's slightly different from anything they have ever done. Oh No is an album where they basically have a guest feature on every single track, and while Oh No is a little bit like Forget in that it is an art pop album, this one goes for more of a slightly different direction, moodier, fuzzier, just as weird. The album starts off with Sad Mezcalita featuring Sharon Van Etten, and it is a really good and emotional album opening. We get these very deep, raspy, quiet vocals from Sharon Van Etten, which is a little unexpected, but it actually works well into the kind of emotional tone of the track. I also really like the reverby, washed out instrumentals, and the climax of the instrumentals are fantastic. The second track is I Cannot Resist, featuring Drab, Majesty, and this track is a bit of a slow burn track with occasional instrumental bursts, and we get some disturbing lyrics as expected from a Xiu Xiu album, and this time we have heads rolling down the stairs. But that being said, I wouldn't say this is all that memorable of a track. The third track, The Grifters, features Haley 4, and this is another really cinematic piece of track where it's really emotional but also really strange. I think the operatic vocals that are being duet on this track are actually really good. And we also got these sleigh bells being worked into the track, which is interesting and actually a pretty nice touch. And the track Goodbye for Good features Greg Saunier. And this track has these very distorted and compressed instrumentals, and structurally, this track is just kind of a mess. It's kind of all over the place. Lyrically, this track is about, it's like the words being said to a person who is about to commit suicide. The world doesn't need you anymore. Just leave already. And Goodbye for Good basically refers to, okay, I'm saying goodbye to the world for good. And lyrically it is interesting, but I just don't think instrumentally, structurally, it's that solid. Next we have the album title track, which is Oh No, and it features Suzanne Saxa. And this track is also very cinematic in Xiu Xiu standards anyways, and it's also really fuzzy and blurry, and I also really enjoy this track. I think the chords are pretty catchy. It has a nice crispy beat, and the very hectic, fast-paced German spoken word by Suzanne Saxa in the second half of the track really adds a layer of anxiety to the track, which I really like. Then we have the Rumpus Room, which is one of the lead up singles to the album, and it is a banger. It is a fiery, wacky, off the walls, off the rails banger. It features Angus Andrews of the Australian electronic outfit Liars, and it's whack. It's crazy. It has a really nice, shuffly percussion. These really crazy lyrics about no posture, bad postures, flaming hot Cheetos, and then we have the chorus of the track: Rumpus, Rumpus, Room, Room, Black, Black, Blue, 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 Blue. It's crazy and it's fantastic. I really love it. I'm really entertained by it, really. The track Fuzz Gong Fight features Angela Xiu, which I thought she's a part of Xiu Xiu, but technically Xiu Xiu is only a duo. But yeah, she gives some spoken word on the track, which is really heavy and dense, and then afterwards, this track becomes a very moody, slow-paced, fuzzy song. Maybe not one of the more memorable tracks on the album, but still alright. Then we have the track I Dream of Someone Else Entirely, featuring Owen Pallett, and this track, I originally didn't really like it because it's really slow-paced, but I'm actually beginning to enjoy it a little bit more, because this is a really slow-paced, sort of half theatrical song, half sweet ballad, sort of a mix between the two. And we even got some sounds like banjos, I think, being mixed into the track. I might be wrong. And lyrically, it is about being in an abusive family, and with these lyrics in mind, and then hearing the instrumentals again, it really put the entire tone of the track in context, and I kind of appreciate it a little more. The track 100 Years features Chelsea Wolfe, and given that Chelsea Wolfe is featured, we all know that this track is going to be a really sinister, industrial, goth flavored song with really dark lyrics that directly deals with mortality and death. The track A Classic Screw features Fabrizio Modonese Palumbo, and this track is a very experimental, noisy, washy, reversed track with these warped tones. And again, this track, and on several other tracks on the album, it also kind of deals with an abusive relationship. We have lyrics like, why protect him, and if he hurt me, if I continue protecting him, he will just simply do it again. The next track is It Bothers Me All the Time featuring Shearwater, and it is an unnerving ballad with screaming reeds. And again, while instrumentally and melodically it doesn't really stand out to me all that much because it feels kind of typical Xiu Xiu, being not very structured, being a little wacky and very absurd and weird. The track Saint Dymphna features Twin Shadow, and it's a way more straightforward song. There's a really beautiful duet between James Stewart, frontman of Xiu Xiu, and Twin Shadow, and once again the lyrics are about being in an abusive relationship, and it sort of deals with the more emotional and the more the more abstract side of things. The last two tracks are both really sweet and wholesome sounding. We have Knockout featuring Alice Bag, which is a really sweet song with refrains knockout, knockout, and it's got these compressed percussions going for it, and it's really nice. And the album ends off with A Bottle of Rum featuring Liz Harris of Grouper. And to my surprise, this track isn't some very quiet, toned down, experimental, wacky stuff, but it's actually a very straightforward, a very catchy and welcoming sort of indie folk ending with a nice reverby, washed out instrumental. Easily one of my favorite songs of the year so far, actually. It's again, the lyrics are really abstract, but that goes for the entire album as well. And the actual ending of the album is Ants, and it's basically a 15-second snippet of someone saying, "Ants, dance, this is your last chance," which is a little weird, but I feel like there's more to it than just a weird little spoken word ending. So yeah, overall, Xiu Xiu Oh No, I'm enjoying it. I certainly don't think it is as good as their last 3 albums because there are tracks on this thing that feel a little bit more typical and feel a little bit more regular as in Xiu Xiu standards than I would have liked it to be. However, there are still a lot of highlights on the album that I enjoyed, and once again, Xiu Xiu with its really abstract lyricism, with its really weird all over the place instrumentals, I think this is a really special and interesting musical experience. My favorite track here is A Bottle of Rum, and my least favorite is probably Fuzz Gong Fight. I'm giving Xiu Xiu's Oh No a strong 7 to a very light 8 out of 10. So, have you listened to Xiu Xiu's Oh No? From 1 to 10 numbers, did you rate it? Like it, and subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching.